All right, everybody. Bryce here, coming at you with a quick market update. And despite the prices being slightly down, a little bit sideways over the course of the last week, I do remain bullish. I do remain excited on the long term, and even the midterm. Short term, little hesitant, over the course of the next few weeks. But here's what gets me really bullish is we're not pricing in right now the fact that I think still a Bitcoin ETF is near. So Michael Sonnenheim, who is the CEO of Grayscale Funds, right? So the Grayscale ETFs, the GBTC and the ETH. These are like investment trust funds that, they charge a slight management fee. They only trade OTC, so they're not on secondary markets, yada, yada. What they do, what the Grayscale company is about to do, at least this is what he was on CNBC this morning talking about, they're 100% committed to turning their investment trust funds into ETFs. And so he noted that there was currently 13 pending Bitcoin ETFs with the SEC right now, which is kind of crazy why they're all backed up when Canada has Bitcoin ETFs and when other countries have Bitcoin ETFs. But that's besides the point. SEC is a little bit more stringent. But if crypto started to get ETFs, that would completely blow open the doors of investable, or people who could invest, right? So the number one like kind of through line of every single bull market, and this is a quote from Paul Tudor Jones, is an ever-expanding universe of buyers. And right now, retail has dried up, right? Probably a lot of your friends who were trading the markets, they've left, right? The prices have corrected 50%. Maybe other people that, you knew that were just in it for the quick hits and stuff, they're gone, right? This market has completely scared out a lot of people. So the people who remain in the market right now are the believers, right? They're who have had their wits tested and who have had their will and their strength to hold. They've had it tested, and they haven't sold, right? And so again, when I'm looking at the market from a long-term perspective, what's still the upside case? Well, of course, nothing has really changed. The market is still fundamentally strong. It's still going to go after, gold, right? $10 trillion market cap. It's still going to go after total, DeFi is still going to go after total, addressable market of, banks, which is, there's $35 trillion of market capitalization for banks and finance around the world. So, there's still enormous long-term targets that I'm extremely, confident that in the next, 5 to 10 years, those targets are very real. And I think those will get hit. But in the short term, of course, tons of volatility. And so when I see this sort of new narrative get pushed by, again, Grayscale, who is the largest asset manager of cryptocurrencies, mind you, they are notionally the largest asset manager. So if you're not already privy to Grayscale, you should look them up. But again, what this conversion process of all of well, first they would start with Bitcoin, right? And they also just inked a partnership deal with BNY Mellon. Sound familiar? Huge. I think they're like the second oldest bank in the world, maybe the oldest bank in the world, BNY Mellon, Bank in New York. And they inked a partnership with them, and BNY is going to be doing fund administration for the Grayscale BTC fund, in preparation to convert it to an ETF. So I think a lot of people are sleeping on this possibility, that they think that like the market is in such a position of like every single crypto BTC ETF has been denied for years, right? For like 5.5, 6 years. And people now just write it off like it'll never happen. And right when the market thinks something's never going to happen, boom. When the least expect it, that's when it happens. And so I think a lot of people right now are not expecting that sort of good news to happen. And I'm not saying it's gonna happen right now, but what I am saying, and listen closely, is that when you have the CEO of the largest asset manager in crypto, which is Grayscale, so the guy's named Michael Sonnenheim, when you have that guy go on CNBC and say he is 100% committed to turning the investment trust funds like Grayscale BTC fund, right, into ETFs, to me, that's just like the most bullish thing because it signals to the market that they're working on it. They're going to do everything possible in order to check all the boxes to make sure the SEC is comfortable with it. And that would bring in a tremendous amount of investment or investable capital, I should say. I'm not saying that once it gets an ETF, then of course everybody's going to open up long positions or anything like that, but it'll just get the asset tradable by so many people. So again, I kind of wanted to come to talk to you guys today about this asset, or about this aspect of the asset, because nobody's talking about it right now. And the guy was just on CNBC literally this morning. So I think that's interesting. And beyond that, like if this 30K level starts to break down, which, you know, it could kind of teeter down back towards the lows at 28, potentially, you know, 27, but there's a lot of bids. So, you know, you guys know I use a site called tradinglight.com. I love this website, and it shows me real-time visualizations of how many bids and how many offers are on the books. And I was looking at Coinbase earlier today, and there was just a huge amount of bids that were on the books. And they were obviously institutional size. They were, you know, $150 to $200 bids, and they were getting filled. So all the panic selling was going into, like, you know, panic selling from, you know, whoever, retail guys, or high frequency trading bots that are momentum traders that are just going with the, you know, kind of fueling the fire. They were selling straight into bids that were sitting there for weeks, patiently, big guys waiting to get filled. So, you know, again, despite the sideways to slightly down, I still remain, you know, mid to long term very bullish. And now, if you haven't, you know, already, you know, gotten plugged in with a good community in crypto, and if you're not already subscribed to our channel, for instance, or to our model portfolios, you could subscribe for $1, and you could check us out for 2 weeks. You could get access to all the coins that we're trading and putting out trade alerts on in a model portfolio. So check that out. And again, you could just click that orange button right there. 2-week trial for just $1.